All right, guys, we're going to be going over common beginner mistakes for the Jefferson curl. So I'll show you some reps right now with this if you don't know what it is. I'm going to be doing a Zurcher Jefferson curl variation right here. So I'm going to grab the bar with my elbows in between my knees. From here, after wedging myself in, I'm going to straighten the legs before I even lift off. And then from here, I'm going to pull through the posterior chain up, slowly lowering down. 2, 3, focusing on keeping straight legs the whole time. 4, and 5. So, what I see a lot of people make mistakes on with this, I'm going to talk to you as I load up the plates. Number one is a lot of people try to Jefferson curl before they can even touch their toes. Right? What do I mean by that? I mean, if you shouldn't, doing some Jefferson curls. Yeah, filming a quick vid. Doing a little YouTube action. You want to say hi to the people?
Cool. I've got to hit my, for Maggie, I've got to get some videos finished up.
Okay.
For her, like, on my program.
Yeah.
I actually ended up working out early this morning, so I'm just here to shoot.
Yeah, no worries, man. So, what I mean by that is, whenever you're Jefferson curling, if you can't, or if you're thinking about Jefferson curling, if you can't touch your toes like this, there is no reason why you should be trying to Jefferson curl with a barbell in the first place. A lot of times with people who want to pick up the bar and do that really rounded back movement like I just did, what I'll have them first off begin with doing is just simply body weight, like reach down to your toes, right? Go fingers, then knuckles, then eventually palms to ground, but just perform this right here. See if you can get better at that. If you can't do that, you really shouldn't be trying to pick up a barbell or do anything super heavy. Once that feels easy, I'll usually have someone do like 5 to 10 reps of that. I'll have them pick up a plate, like a nice 10-pounder, straight arms, reaching down, just like this. Getting used to that rounded back movement. A lot of people are scared to do this, but what this actually does is teaches your back to be strong in any position that you're possibly in. You know, whether it be straight spine, even a little crooked, right? You can do a single side Jefferson curl, which kind of gets a little bit of rotation in there. That's really nice. But you should be strong in that ability to rounded back pick something up. So that's mistake number one I see a lot of people doing is they try to rush too quickly into this. They don't have the hamstring mobility for it, or they haven't built up the tissue tolerance to be able to Jefferson curl yet. Second thing I see a lot of people get wrong is they try to ramp up the weights way too quickly. So most people, I won't get them to an empty barbell, which is 45 pounds, until, you know, maybe 3 to 6 Jefferson curling sessions in. In the beginning, you know, you might just grab some dumbbells, go slightly elevated, right? You can stand on a plate like this, you know, maybe stack up to 45 pounders and have a 10-pound dumbbell in each hand and just reach down like that, right? Keeping your legs straight. How you do that is you flex your quads. Gotta keep your legs pretty straight the whole time. But just get strong at that first. And you'll probably notice that some people, when they Jefferson curl, they'll hold the bar in their hands. Some people do it with where they hold it in their elbows, like I'm doing today with a Zurcher style. Both are great. The one reason I like Zurcher is because you don't need a platform. If I was to do a straight arm Jefferson curl like this, my range of motion is really short. You see that? It's really not doing a lot right there. But when I choose to Zurcher, I don't need a platform to Jefferson curl off of to get full range of motion. If I was doing this straight arms, I usually need to be on a platform to be able to get full range of motion, or standing on like cement blocks, standing off the edge of a bench, which can just be an issue for stability, not safe. There's a lot of different reasons why I prefer this one for most people. I do love the true integrity of a nice long Jefferson curl where you hold it in your arms. I don't think the Zurcher quite stretches the lats like that variation, but this one is the most utilitarian. So how I get set up on this, a lot of people don't know how to start from the bottom, is I'll widen my feet a little bit, then hook in one arm. I'm gonna kind of squat down. One sign that you shouldn't be Jefferson curling, especially Zercher Jefferson curling yet, and you should just be focusing on building more hip mobility and squat mobility, is this position I'm in right here is challenging for you. If you can't get into a deep squat and hold this weight, it's probably not gonna be super safe, right? Like even here, I can just do little baby deadlifts. And it's hard, but my back feels safe doing it too. So if you don't feel safe in this bottom position, you don't want to start from the top. You probably want to start from the top, pick it up out of a squat rack, like from those things, before trying to get it from the bottom. So that's one thing too. When I first teach someone, we usually start from the racks. But I'm going to start here. If you start from the floor, my legs are wide to begin with. Then I shoot my hips up. I'm going to kind of scoot my feet into each other. From here, I'm going to push my legs straight and pick up. I'm going a little faster on the way up than most people are comfortable with. That's because I've been doing this for a while. The bottom, I'm letting my lats relax down to create this concave shape. 5. And a lot of people, when they first start Jefferson curling, you might see me post a video of my clients and they're Jefferson curling with bent knees like this. Is this bad? No, just more of a Zercher deadlift. It typically just means their hamstrings haven't gotten open yet fully. So if you're wanting to Zercher Jefferson curl, let's just summarize a little bit here. Number 1, make sure you can touch your toes with straight legs. If you can't do that, you got no business trying to Jefferson curl. Number 2 is going to be patient on ramping up the weight. Start off with just body weight, a 10-pound plate, then go to 2 15-pound dumbbells, then go to a 45-pound bar, then keep that 45-pound bar as long as you need to help you unlock full range of motion. When you start to add weight to it, don't throw on a 25 and then a 45. Do 5-pound jumps, 10-pound jumps at most in the beginning. Like going from 45 to 65 pounds, huge win. You don't necessarily need to throw on a quarter on each side to do that. You know, you can do one session at 45 pounds, then you do 3-4 sets of that. Then next time you do it, you try out 55. And one thing I like to do is I'll start set 1 lighter and I'll add 10 pounds on each side of the bar every set. And I like to keep my repetitions at 5. So another beginner mistake I see at the Jefferson curl is people's reps are a little too high in the beginning. I'm such a big fan, guys, of 3 sets of 5 for your Jefferson curls when you're first learning. Set 1, open up the body. Set 2, dust off some of the cracks and tight areas. Set 3, really try to aim for full range of motion, 5-10 pound PR or going a little bit heavier, but just focus on getting deeper and the weight will come. Then once you can confidently do 3 sets of 5 with like a 25-pound plate on the other side of each bar, or once you can do 3 sets of 5, in my opinion, full range of motion with even just 65 pounds, so 10 pounds on each side, you now have permission to start exploring a little bit deeper weights. But what do I mean by that? I mean, where it may have taken you went from 10 pounds to 15 pounds, so you stayed at 15 pounds for another week, to 25 pounds, and it may have taken you at this rate, if you're Jefferson curling once a week, 8 to 12 weeks to get full range of motion and get to a 45-pound bar. That's okay. Once you can get to 3 sets of 5 with a little bit of weight on the empty bar and get full range of motion, your hamstrings are screaming at you in a good way, that's when you kind of have permission to start to ramp up a little bit more. But most people, most athletes in the world, if you could just do full range of motion, perfectly straight legs, Zercher Jefferson curl with 135 pounds, you've got most of what you need in the world when it comes to the abilities. But if you're like me, you like to get a really, really strong lower back, so you can build up to being able to Zercher Jefferson curl your own body weight. But this is 2 years in the making, guys. This is not a standard that you want to reach in 3 to 4 months. Personally, for me, I spent 2 years Jefferson curling before I ever even put 135 on the bar. So just to give you a timeline on that, take your time, 1 session a week, just practice it, get more range of motion. Don't rush this and try to just throw on the same weight that I use right away. Most people can't do 135 like this, right? And it took me 2 years to do it. I finally saw someone do it in person, Keegan Smith, at a ATG event, and it was 7, 8, 9 months, 10 months, 12 months after a big lower back injury that I'd had, and I'd used Jefferson curls to rehab that low back injury. I finally felt confident and say, hey, I'm gonna give this a shot. And then it worked, and so I started Jefferson curling heavier and heavier and heavier progressively, all right? I love to time these after back squats. I feel like it's a really good time because your hips are nice and open, but like today, this is the first exercise of the day, and it felt pretty good. So these are some common beginner mistakes and coaching advice to help you get your Jefferson curl, your Zercher Jefferson curl feeling really good. If you have any questions, drop them down in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys.